bad angle. I know that. I know that, but I have some things to say. And I haven't made a video like this on our channel for quite a long time, and I think we're due. And I'm not going to film like this again, because, yeah, bad angle. But recently, I had a friend that got hurt pretty bad. She was hurt pretty bad. And I want to tell a story about a time that I was hurt really bad. And I know you guys probably have been through the same thing. When somebody hurts you, and you know you're doing the right thing, and somebody hurts you, and let me tell you what happened to me. Long time ago, I was at work, and I was a bus driver. I had a bus aide, and something really horrific happened on my bus. I mean, really horrific. I drove for special needs, and a boy that was autistic. At the time, I had 6 autistic kids on my bus, and if you know anything about that, it's about autism. It's scary. I mean, the teachers would put these kids on the bus and say, I would rather be in Iraq right now. I would rather be there than on this bus with you. Because, you know, autistic kids trigger each other, or are triggered by other things, or it could get bad. It could get bad quickly. Well, I was driving, didn't get very far, and I had a person on there that was severely autistic. This person was a very large, as a child, they were a very large, tall person. And if I would even stop at a red light, he would start to get agitated. So I learned to drive my route, watching the red lights and not stopping, not having to stop. If there was a red light ahead of me, I would start slowing down, so I didn't have to stop at that red light. That's how I learned to drive that bus that year. And there was other things I did just to keep the peace on the bus. Like, we played Christmas music all year round, okay? Because Christmas music, for some reason, will calm an autistic child. I don't know if you know that or not, but anyway, okay. It got bad. Somebody triggered somebody. I ended up having to pull over in a parking lot because I had a bus aide that didn't know what she was doing and agitated the whole situation. It was bad. So I had to stop the bus. I had to stop in a parking lot, and I had to deal with this, because at this point the bus aide was standing in the back of the bus shivering because she was so upset. Just quivering. She didn't know what to do. So when I stopped the bus, I took the keys out, of course, did all that and everything. And when I stopped the bus, this boy, he took his head and he took one swipe at the window with his head, and he broke the school bus window. So when I tell you, or somebody else tells you, that autistic children can be strong, they can be, and he was very upset, and at that point, he started throwing glass at me. He kicked me in the knee. He did everything. I ended up getting hurt. We called the garage for help, and they have a team of people that will come out to your bus immediately and take care of the situation. But at that point, I had not only one autistic child upset, I had 6. And it was just a really bad situation on the bus. And the whole time, my bus aide, there wasn't much assistance out of her. They saw that when they came out. They saw everything. So I had to file an incident report. Everybody involved, you have to file an incident report. Did that. Well, my bus aide, I knew that at that point, it's like, now what am I going to do? Am I going to tell the truth in this? Am I going to just tell, or at least think, what am I going to do? because I know that, we're all friends and there's other people that are friends. What am I going to do? Because if I fill this out right, she's going to get fired. She's going to get fired. And she did. She got fired. So what happened? All those people that I thought were my friends, they ended up really not being very nice to me. Not being very nice to me at all. I thought they were my friends. True friends don't act like they did in a situation like that. So I had to keep going to work with all these people after this woman got fired, and walk in the lounge and walk out, and it was hard. It was really hard to do. It was very hard to do. Sorry, I got something hanging here. But I did it, and I did it in prayer, knowing that God will handle it. That I knew God would handle that, and I had faith that God would handle that. I didn't know when God would handle it, but I knew eventually it would be handled. It would work out. So it did. And it was like 2 or 3 years later that some of these women I had to work with again, and they got to know me for me, and they apologized to me for how they treated me. And, a couple other, there was some more firing done and everything later on. And God handled it in His way. I got through it and learned who my friends were. And I held my head up high. And it was hard to do. It was really hard to do. But I did it. I did it. And, there's another situation that Rob and I just went through about a year ago, where I was helping another channel doing thumbnails and writing descriptions and all that, because I've put hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, I'm not kidding you, of hours into how to do the back end of YouTube. I'm geeky. I like computer stuff. I like making thumbnails. I like doing all that. I like editing. So I learned on my own just by watching videos of how to. Not because I want a big channel. That's not my reasoning. That's not my reasoning for doing any of that at the time. That was something I liked to do. So it's something I just did. So I was helping them. Well, something happened. I'm not going to go into anything that happened, but something happened, and I was accused of doing something that I didn't do, and immediately this person that I was helping turned on me. I woke up the next day, and I'm like, I tried to get in him to help him and do right things and whatnot, and I was locked out. I'm like, what is happening? And then I got an email, and I'm like, they told me all this stuff, and I'm like, I didn't do any of that. I didn't do any of that. And then there was a video made. This person made a video about me, which, oh my lands, I watched that video and I was heartbroken, because the lies, the person that started this, and my friend that I thought was my friend that said, oh, your family, I love you, they weren't my friend. They were using me. They were just using me. And eventually they figured, they looked into everything and found out I wasn't lying. But the video, people already saw the video. So my reaction to all that was nothing. I did nothing. I'm like, God will handle this. Some way or another, God's going to handle this. I am not making a response video and explaining my side of the story. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing anything. It hurt like heck, and there were other people hurt in the process. But I didn't do anything. I moved on. It was hard. It was hard to do, because now some of my friends that were there or were crossing paths, and it was hard. But eventually, I was able to kind of get through it. I held my head up high. I got through it. I did the right thing. And I moved forward. And slowly, that person has just kind of dissipated from my life. And other people have seen the true side of this person and just kind of just dissipated. So I'm going to pull over and stop here for a minute because I'm almost where I'm supposed to be. So in life, you're going to find people that just you think they're friends and they treat you great and everything is wonderful until something happens, and then they turn on you. So what you need to do, and my cousin told me this a long time ago. And by a long time ago, I mean like 30 years ago, maybe? Yeah. And this has stuck with me my whole life. And she said to me, you need to weed out the grapes. You need to weed out the grapes in life. Sometimes you're going to get hurt when you do that, but you need to weed out the grapes. And it's like a person that has a big vineyard that makes wine. You have grapes that are good and you have grapes that are bad. You wish all the grapes could be good because you could use those grapes. But when you weed out the bad grapes, you have some spoiled grapes and everything. I have a grapevine, and it was like, oh man, all these grapes that aren't good, I could have used these grapes in my wine, and we could have just had something really wonderful together. You know, just follow me. And it hurt me to get rid of the bad grapes in life because it's like, I wish you could be different. I really, really wish you could be different because I really, really would like to have you in my vineyard, in my grapevine, on my grapevine. But it's like, you can't be. I'm really sorry. So I have to stick with all these good grapes that are going to help me and move along. Does that make sense? Weed out the grapes. And it hurts when you do that. It's not easy to weed out bad grapes. Because now you have all these other grapes that are on the vine going, why this grape? Why this grape? You know, but this grape's got to go. You just got to go, grape. And now you have all these good grapes. So this year in my vineyard, in life, I'm going through something again right now. And I would really, really like to make a video and just like vomit information that is true, but I'm not going to do that. And actually, I've made videos doing that. I've done it twice now. I've made videos just kind of saying, this is what's really happening, and this is what I got, and this is how it's going. But if I do that, it's going to start something, and I don't want to start something. I know that I'm right. But if I make a video, it's just going to cause trouble. And so I put it in God's hands. In the videos that I make, I've even edited one. I canned it. Because it's like, I can't do that. I need to not do that. So in life, you're gonna find people that, and even on YouTube, you're gonna find people that hurt you and use you or do anything like that. You need to just, it hurts like heck. But you need to just kind of give it to God. Just give it to God and just say, oh, all right, I'm going to move on. Don't, there's a channel or so that I just can't watch because it irritates me because I know they're lying. So I just don't watch them. I just don't watch them because it's just, burns me because things aren't true. I've even been called what was I called? A clout. I did something for clout. And I'm like, no, I didn't. Somebody on their live stream called me out and she's like, they did that for clout and they did it for this reason and this reason. No, I don't operate that way. Oh, here's another thing. Just one more. Let me put this out there. If a person constantly says, I don't lie, and I'm here to do the best for you, and I'm here to help, I don't lie. I never, I've learned in life that when a person says, I'm not a liar, they're a liar. If a person says constantly, oh, I just want the best for you, oh, I just want they don't. A person that doesn't lie doesn't have to say, I don't lie. A person that wants the best for you just does the best for you. They don't have to tell you that. They don't have to say, I want the best for you, I'll never lie. They don't have to say a word. They just do it. So anyway, there you go. And to my friend that got hurt, I love you. You know who you are. And this is life. This is what's going to happen to you in life along the way. And just remember something my cousin said a long, long time ago. You need to weed out the grapes. Just weed out the grapes in life. Hold your head up and just move on. All right. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.